What's going on YouTube? So we are back with episode number 8 of Ask Madden Monday, and this time around we're going to do something a little bit different. We play so much Ask Madden over at TGL that we actually decided to create a league. We did a fantasy draft, and I wanted to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nobody ever really uses this team. It's very rare that you get to see these uniforms because their team is so bad. And I've been showing a lot of Dolphins gameplay footage this year, a lot of Titans gameplay footage. So I wanted to, mix things up a little bit and be the Jaguars. I actually don't mind their uniform in Madden as much. The helmet's actually pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't really like it, but it's not that bad. So first week, I'm playing this dude named Beskept. He's actually been in the Madden community for quite a while. Just kind of reappeared this year for the first time. And so I just want to let you guys know that this is at about 1 o'clock in the morning and it's a Friday. Dude is absolutely hammered. He let me know before the game. He couldn't even type. He was just so hammered. As you can see, he's just sitting back in the pocket, taking sacks. And when I threw that pick to begin the game, I was like, oh my God, please don't tell me I'm going to lose to a dude that's drunk. Because I know that they would have been just all over me in the chat box and on the forum, losing to a dude in Ask Madden that's hammered. So definitely couldn't have that happen, even though I almost threw again another interception. That would have been a pick six, but luckily I make a nice juke and get into the end zone to go up 7-0. So enough about that. I said that from now on for the Ask Madden games, I was going to cover the Sunday football from the day before. And the first thing we're going to talk about is a guy that I think is absolutely amazing. And I thought this the first time I saw him, which is Case Keenum. This guy was undrafted. He kind of came out of nowhere. The only time I really heard about him was when the Texans said that they might consider starting him when Schaub went down. And he's undrafted. He just kind of came out of nowhere. Didn't really know much about him. But after watching his first game, I was really impressed with this guy. I was on Twitter saying, you know what? This guy is kind of unbelievable. He just had every ingredient that a quarterback should have. The way that he was in the pocket is very important. That's why I love Andrew Luck so much, because of Andrew Luck's pocket awareness. Well, Case Keenum was very good. He had mobility, but of course he didn't try to take off when it was unnecessary, and he recognizes when he can take off, pretty well, pretty early. The other thing is, as a young quarterback, a rookie that went undrafted, you think, you play in the NFL, this is your one opportunity that you can try to make something happen. And in that first game, he took 5 sacks. And sometimes when you take sacks, it's kind of bad because you're holding on to the ball too long or whatever. But this guy comes in as an undrafted rookie, and he took 5 sacks and didn't make mistakes. Rather than throw the ball, try to throw interceptions, he was really patient, held on to the ball, took the right sacks at the right time, didn't force it. And after seeing the way he was throwing the ball and the way he was in the pocket, and then seeing how smart he was as a player, I was blown away. I was like, this dude went undrafted. This doesn't even make sense. It just goes to show, maybe he doesn't practice well, but he is an absolute gamer, that is for sure. Now, with all that said, as much as I wanted to pump up Case Keenum and say how great he was, and I do think he is going to be great, yesterday, let's just talk about reality. Andre Johnson owned that game. It's not just a one player. Like, you have to get open in the NFL. We all saw what happened to Peyton Manning when they played the Colts. Nobody could get open, and it made it really tough for him, especially in the first half, to really get anything done. If you're not open, then who are you going to throw to? It doesn't matter how great you are. If you don't have an offensive line, it doesn't matter how great you are. You're going to get hit. You're going to get sacked. You're not going to be able to run an offense the way that you want. And yesterday, Andre Johnson really owned any defender that was up against him, especially Vontae Davis. Just made it really easy for Case Keenum to just throw a wide open receiver. You saw he was just lobbing that ball up or throwing deep multiple times. Even in the end zone, he just threw it up, and there was no way that should have been a completion. But of course, Andre being Andre, he comes down with it. So I love Case Keenum, but I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh my God, he was amazing yesterday and it was all him. And, Andre Johnson definitely owned that game yesterday. So what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Cleveland actually winning another game in Cleveland against Baltimore. It's almost like any time Brandon Weeden is not involved in the game, they're going to do good. That dude needs to just get cut. Like, he's terrible. There's that he provides. He stares down his receivers. He sucks. Definitely got to get rid of him. Tampa Bay almost beating Seattle. Seattle, though, it's one thing, if you're only going to win the game by 3 against a team that hasn't even won a game, like, that's definitely not a good thing. But when you can start out a game, this is the NFL. No matter what team it is, it's tough. And to be down what they were early in that game and actually come back and rally and win in overtime, as much as they should have blown them out to begin with, because it is in Seattle, that actually says a lot about the team. Those are the things that I look for when I think about who's going to win in the playoffs. What teams are clutch? It's like the Colts. Look at, obviously, Gary Kubiak collapsed at halftime, and a lot of people can say, well, that was probably on their minds, and I don't blame them, because, if it was me and that was my coach, I definitely would have been thinking, oh man, and I would have been very distracted. But again, Andrew Luck, again, he's just that type of dude that he comes back in games. And Seattle and Russell Wilson and just that team in general, it's all about clutching it. So I definitely like Seattle going forward. I mean, that's no surprise. I'm just kind of pointing out, some of the things that I like. What else we got? We got Nick Foles throwing 7 touchdowns against the Oakland Raiders. I don't know. Nick Foles is decent. I'm not like, what's the other quarterback there that played for Philly that got the job in Arizona? I can't even think of his name right now. The dude was terrible. I thought he was terrible from the beginning. Nick Foles, I'm not going to say that, I don't know. He's middle of the road he's not great. He's not 7 touchdowns great. He's kind of decent, but, I definitely would, I don't know. I wouldn't want him as my quarterback. That's just my thought. What else we got? RG3 won a game yesterday. It's really tough to win without an offensive line, man. Look at the Giants. Look at the Dolphins and the leads that they've given up. Look at Washington and all the hits that RG3 has taken. This is definitely a team game, and you got to look at a lot more than just the players at hand. RG3 is struggling, but that offensive line is definitely not helping him. So I guess I have to cut it off short here. I won my first game, and I'll see you guys next time with the next Ask Madden video.